Okay, now there we are. Welcome to camp, guys. All right, so we have an exciting first first step, and that is going over the Cookbook Hall of Fame winners. Let me pull those up. Very fun thing. Randy didn't know it till he got on just a few minutes ago. Randy was nominated by someone on our team, and he is actually selected as one of the winners for 2025. And I didn't know it and asked him to be on. And this morning when I saw it come out, I thought, oh my gosh, Randy.
Hmm.
Fun fact. All right. Here we go. So anyone who finished a book was asked to could nominate themselves. We also had some people who nominated internally on cookbooks that were just really special for the 2025 year. We have five winners and we have quite a few runners up. I'll be reaching out to them personally and congratulating them. We're going to be inviting these people to come to camp and share about their book because they have really cool stories and just really cool books. But I'm excited to announce them. We'll start with Randy. Randy's book is titled Mom's Cookbook. I didn't know this, and this is what he and I were chatting with. I knew his book was full of recipes that were his mom's and that there was some like heavy translation going on. But what I didn't know about Randy's mom until today, and we're going to talk about this, is what a cool story she has. She survived World War II in Berlin. She was captured and held as a U.S. prisoner at a camp, married an American soldier, and now kind of has created this life in Texas. And so she has quite the fusion of recipes and culinary experience and quite the story to say the least. And I have a few images of Randy and his family with getting the book. And oh, that's kind of blurry. But yeah, we'll be digging into Randy's today. I'm excited to kind of dig in. Following, we have Kim McGough. Kim McGough's cookbook it spans five generations, starting in the early 1900s, and then includes some of her grandchildren's collection as well. Uh, a total of she shared the book at a family unveiling with 56 members. And so we'll be excited to chat with Miss Kim. This one is really sweet. This is Cooking with Kenzie May. This is I'm gonna let you guys watch the video because it's gonna like grab your tissues. It's the sweetest thing you've ever seen. Um, it's a grandfather and granddaughter who created a book together. I'm gonna turn my volume up and be real quiet so you can hear it.
Hi, I'm Daryl, and this is.
Hi, I'm Kinsey.
And this is Cooking with Kenzie Mayer, our book. What happened was that I had lots of photos over the years of Kenzie helping me in the kitchen and didn't really know what to do with them. And I thought, why not make a cookbook? So every recipe in here, in the book, has a collage of photos of Kenzie making each recipe. So it's every single thing that she's done with me, and she now can do a lot of them herself. And probably her favourite is making
My favorite is making Grandpa's pasta.
pasta. And what's your favourite pasta to make?
Uh, Fettuccine.
Fettuccine.
And also one's got looks like noodles, spaghetti, and also we we made another one, and it's called Straight Line.
Straight one. Oh, yeah. And I'd like to just say very special thanks to Christina for sending me all the camp videos because we couldn't join because I'm in Australia. But the help from the support team over there too gave us the idea about using collages to import as one photo. So that really made a difference. The quality of the book is absolutely sensational, and Kenzie's got this for life now. Thanks very much. See you.
Aren't they the sweetest? I mean, that right there is like what we do this. Like grandpa's cooking with the next generation and making those straight line skinny noodles. That one got me this morning. I'm not gonna lie, but I also have a little at home, so I was like, yeah, it's pretty cute. We have following our family treasures written by Teresa Robbins. She she is 89 years old and she typed nearly every recipe herself. I know she has been collecting these recipes over 80 years. She is a retired home economics teacher, and works on and insists on the importance of meal etiquette and having family at the table. So I'm excited to invite Miss Robbins to share more about hers, and maybe we can all learn some meal etiquette because I know my daughter needs it. I've got some pictures. We got her unboxing and the family. And then finally, we have Miss Tammy Svensson. She wrote A Legacy of Love. She creates a book every year for their family Christmas. This year, it was titled A Legacy of Love. Um, this year was extra special because she lost her mom to breast cancer, and so the book became a dedication to her mom. And so we're so excited to celebrate that as well. All right. So we have lots and lots of nominations this year, and I did get to read through them, and they're really fun, and they really remind you of the importance of the work that we do here. Next year, I hope everyone has submitted their book for a nomination, and we have everyone in here who hasn't finished their book that we're talking about you next year. So we're excited, but it will be exciting to see all these people and see their books and hear their stories. And today we have Randy. Let me pull up his account. Actually, do you have your book with you, Randy? Can you hold it up?
I have my book, yes. The
Ah,
physical book.
nice. Look at it.
So, and it is the glossy hardback, lots of stuff, pictures, some pictures, and then
I love it. All right, I'm going to share my screen and show the insides. What I love about Randy's book is he does have some family photos, but if you're someone who is like, hey, I don't have just a crazy amount of family photos, I think his book shows a beautiful way of how you can just take a handful of photos and all your recipes and make a really, really stunning book. So I'm going to, Randy, as you kind of talk, I'm going to share my screen so that they can see your book. We'll talk about the cover, and that kind of came from, we'll start there. He worked with Carly with our cookbook coaching program, and they kind of collaborated together on the cover. But this kind of really goes back to that Germanic roots for your mother. I have that right.
yeah. So, and it came from actually, my wife actually came up with the ideas of putting the flowers on the cover and stuff like that. Because if it had been me, I probably would have just had a few words and then nothing else. And um, because when you look at the templates that y'all have, there's only a few, but there's so much that you can do when you use whatever that website is that I can't think of right now, for creating artwork and stuff like that. So that was really nice. I did like in that Hall of Fame, um, that one. I like that second cookbook where they had the kind of yeah, I like that. I like the look of that cover.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is actually drawn. I believe I don't know if Miss Kim is here, but I'm almost positive this is a drawing from someone in her family that they've imported. And we see that quite a bit, and I do love it when people do that. What I love even more that I've seen too is people will use their kids' drawings in the kitchen or
Yeah.
have kids color a cover, and those are some of the cutest cookbooks you've ever seen. So those are fun. I'm gonna pop in. We have the table of contents. Randy's book was quite large. We were stuffing it. We were moving things around to get everything to fit. This we were actually talking about this house. This kind of goes into the story of your mom, and I think you got to take a quick minute. I mean, you give us the highlights, but your mom she's quite the lady. Can you give us a quick, a quick story of your mom? I know you could go on for a long time, but the highest level.
Well, yeah. So she did. She grew up in Berlin and during World War II. Um, so so during wartime, I mean, there were things, she was young, so it wasn't like she really kind of knew what was going on. But there was at one point, you kind of, at certain ages, they had to like work for different kinds of things. And so she had an opportunity. She actually worked at a music school in Austria, helping out there until they had to evacuate there because the Allied were going to come and invade that area. Um, so that whole group of people had to make their trek back from Austria to Berlin, and it was during that time that they were captured and were in an American POW camp. And they thought it was they thought the Americans were trying to kill them by poisoning them with food because they would give them what they ended up calling, the Germans referred to as rubber sausage, which is bologna. They had no concept of what bologna was. And they thought the Americans were trying to kill them with that. But yeah, so after that, there was at one point on the trek back, they actually were starving and they had to kill a horse, and the farmer who owned the horse kind of came and said he was going to report them to the military, and they said, well, that's fine because we'll report you for having a horse because you were supposed to turn it into the military. So he let them go, and she eventually made it back, and at some point met my father. I don't know how that happened other than in Berlin, and they got married. She came back to the States. She only spoke German, but she was in a military hospital because she had kidney disease and she had half her kidney removed. And uh, during that time, she was like in the hospital for about a year. And during that time, uh, she started learning English she picked up an American dictionary and started learning English by the dictionary. She did not know how to cook back then. So she learned all her cooking after that time period. So, and this is the cookbook that started with. And if you can I got to do this without pages falling out. But that is what We Type It had to deal with. And the team from the We Type It people, the team that did that, she had recipes in German, and she writes in an old German style that sometimes I even have a hard time reading. And they were able to convert the recipes, and the We Type It, there was no way this would have been done without, well, there was no way without Carly either, but without the We Type It stuff that this book would have got done. I started it probably, I don't know how long has y'all's website, your service, been around? So I'm thinking it was like 4 to 6 years ago. I started by manually typing in recipes.
Yeah, we've been around since 2007, but I think I think I looked at your account and you were about 5 years ago when you started.
Yeah. And there wasn't a We Type It back then. So and then I would follow some of these camps, and sometimes y'all offer specials for the We Type It and stuff like that. And I started doing that and submitting them, and then did the service that y'all provide. That I would not have had this done. And I just wanted, so the book is hardcover for two reasons. One is I kind of wanted it something, so I've given copies to my brother and my kids and one of my nephews and stuff like that. But I wanted something that they could keep forever. But the other side of it was one of the only bindings that fit all the recipes in it. And when I started it, the recommendation I think I brought up last time too is if you have a lot of recipes, there is if you can split it into multiple books, you have more options. If you have, because you get the page limit at some point. And when I looked at trying to convert this to two books, because my mother had a lot of pastries and sweets basically. And so the whole book would have been sweets, and then another one would have had, I don't know, 20 pages or something with everything else in it. But um, it's basically the path. And as you can see, there's a lot of these. They're not fancy recipes. We did find one. There was a recipe, actually, it's from my wife's grandmother for divinity. And we found out that recipe don't work. So we're going to update that recipe at one point. And
Divinity's hard. Does the recipe not work, or was it a user error?
No, it wasn't a user area, Eric, because then we found a recipe online,
Okay.
and then it did turn out, but it came out very liquidy, and
Uh-huh.
this don't look right. So,
That's funny. Yeah. That's
and I've told everybody I've given the books to, because I gave them as Christmas gifts. That everybody gave the books to. I said I have not personally tried any of these recipes, so I've had them. I've eaten most of these recipes, but I've never actually made any of them myself. So just when you give it a try, let me know how it turns out.
Yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense. This has to be German, right? Both books.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And you left some of them in the original German language.
Then, yeah,
Those
that's
are.
probably because there wasn't, I think that, yeah, because there wasn't real good translations for it.
Got it. Got it. Now, do you speak German?
No.
Okay. You say, wow.
And which is interesting because my brother, who's older than me, he only spoke German at one point. And when my mother went in the hospital for a year, he stayed down in South Texas where my dad's family was from. He stayed with them, and when my mom got out of the hospital and she went back and got to see him because she didn't get to see him for a year, he didn't speak German anymore. He spoke English.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. I love it. I love it. Any questions for Randy? Does anybody want to pick his brain or get ideas from him? I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can see. I got a chat. Does Randy's book have a recipe for kolaches?
No,
Uh,
it doesn't. Like,
that's-
no, it doesn't.
that is funny because like with the Texas and the German, that would be like the thing you would think.
You know,
Uh,
I've actually made them just by using sausage and then cutting it, buying the sausage links, the large ones, and then using Pillsbury pastry dough and wrapping them and then baking them. And they turned out, I used to make them for my kids for lunch when they went to school so they could have something to eat. But yeah,
yeah, no, that makes sense. Those are really good. There's a place not far from me that makes them with Conecuh sausage, which is like an Alabama sausage. I do the same thing because you can buy it and it's like you just wrap the Conecuh sausage and it's very good. Jeanette wants to know what size font you used, and it looks like on the heading, let me share my screen, Jeanette, so you can see. Um, Here we are. On the heading on this one, we have 14 and it's Laura. On the ingredients, we have 10. Now guys, 10 is as low as I would go for things. So I know we were trying to like fit everything for Randy's book in, but ten's about the lowest I would suggest. 10 for directions and 10 for this is the recipe footer. Randy, how do you feel like size wise? Do you have any, does it
oh,
read?
I think it's fine. I can still read it, and I'm old, so I don't see it. I mean, it actually looks bigger, I think, in the book than.
Oh, let me stop sharing so people can see really
Oh
good.
yeah, so.
Okay, go ahead.
So there's the book. So, I mean, I think it's actually easy to read. So,
Perfect.
And Carly picked all that out too. She did all the work. So.
Well, you're still the
But
creative director and have the content and the story, and that's the part that's, really cool.
the
Uh,
nice thing about the service is it keeps you honest. So, because you have deadlines, it's like, okay, we're going to meet, this date, and you need to do this. And did you provide that? No, I did not. Carly found the photos. So the person who asked that question. So,
yeah.
um,
Yeah, that is if you work with a cookbook coach, they can handle all the design work for you. As far as Sherry, if you're looking for photos, let me point something out to you real quick that will be helpful. We have stock photos in our designer. It's if you go into like edit anywhere where there's a photo, there's a couple of different options. We have stock photos that you can search. Um, am I sharing? No, I'm just
no.
talking. Sorry. Um, okay. I'm gonna claim sleep deprivation this week because I've got my little dude has had some sleep regression. All right, back at it. Photos. We have stock photos, and you can search anything here. My suggestion for this is always try to search ingredients, unless you can get something that looks close to the recipes that you're making. So flour looks like flour. Like it doesn't matter what kitchen is in. It's just what it looks like. So you can find some really pretty pictures for like baking a flour. Like that's always a really pretty one. Um, and if it says $1.50, it's a one-time fee of $1.50, not $1.50 per book. But yeah, you have some really pretty images with that. Another thing that we built this last year. It's gotten really good feedback. We have Create with AI. You can just prompt it and give it kind of like what you're wanting it to look like. My favorite thing to do with the AI is to use the illustration or the watercolor. I think it looks really pretty. It makes really pretty art. And so that's another way to get cool images that will just kind of match the vibe of your cookbook. Or if you want to work with a cookbook coach and that's something you want to do, you can just tell Carly what you're trying to do and she'll go do it for you. So lots of options on the photos.
And
Um,
that's what she did for me.
And you add, I mean, and I think you still, that's one of the great things is you still get to maintain that level of like, I'm the creative director, I'm the project manager. Because I know you gave her like feedback on the section dividers, like, hey, let's add something to it. And she added the flowers to kind of match in from the cover. And she'll come up with ideas, but you also kind of come up with them with her.
Yeah, there were some dividers that had, I can't remember if it didn't flow right or something like that. And, so it was real easy to communicate with her and say, can we get a different photo that, because one of them, it was like the top of the photo looked out of
Mhm.
place from the bottom of the photo, but the whole photo itself looked fine.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it's split. So,
Yeah. And sometimes you just have to see it before you know, and to make those decisions. But yeah. All right, guys. Any other question for Randy? And then I'm going to jump into just an open Q&A for cookbooks, and I'll stop at 12:50 and talk about the cookbook coaching. If you have interest in it, you can ask questions about it. If not, you can just always come to camp. I'm always here for you. Any questions for Randy? All right, guys, I'm going to open up for Q&A. Who's working on their book? Where are we? How can we help get you where you are? Miss Connie, you're back. What are you working on? We're going to hold you accountable. Hey, you're muted. Bottom left.
Yeah, I'm muted on purpose.
Good. You're
Yes.
following the
So
directions. I'm proud of you.
I'm pretty much done right now.
Okay.
I am meeting with Carly tomorrow.
Mhm.
And so the last camp that we had, I like the idea of having extra pages, one extra page behind each or at the end of each section. And I liked how one of the participants, maybe it was the lady that you hosted or you showcased last week, how she made sure that the section page was on the right hand side. So those are
Mhm.
two things that I want to change. I did
Okay.
not do any put any handwritten recipes in, so I still might do that. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I think at least one or two, like the classics, just
yeah.
kind of put one of those
And
in.
that's what I kind of thought. I thought I would do a handwritten one of my mom's favorite recipes and one of my husband's favorite recipes.
Oh, so
Yeah, yeah.
I like
So
that. I like
so that's where I'm at. I'm just so
Good. I'm so
close.
glad that you're here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling people out. Let's see. Miss Lori, where are you? What are you working on? What can we help you with? Oh, you're muted too. Look, I'm so proud of y'all for following directions though. If I could get my 5-year-old to do that now.
It's supposed to unmute if you hit the space bar, so I tried to do that and it didn't unmute.
Ah. All right, we'll blame the computer. Where are you?
Um,
What are you working on?
I have a million family photos that I'm trying to get scanned,
Okay.
um, so that I can get them in a format that can be put in.
Are
So
you using
that's where I'm still kind of stuck on there.
yeah. Are you using the like actual scanner or are you using your phone?
No, I have a scanner.
Okay, good. There
So
is a
so they're really good, high resolution photos.
perfect. Yeah, that's smart. A trick that I recently learned is the reason I asked. If you go to your Notes app in your phone, if you ever need to scan an image, if you take a picture, then you're like trying to crop it and it looks crazy. But if you go to the Notes app and this is Apple, I don't know on Android, and you can do, let me see exactly how to do it. I'm gonna walk you through it. Basically, you can scan a photo and it's pretty good. Like it will, and then you can use that because it'll capture the photo as a scan. Let me see. Scan photo. I'm talking a lot. All right. I will send directions in the replay, but I'll show you guys. But anyways, you can scan the photo with your Notes app and it will capture just the photo and not like the background image. And I found that really helpful. But I'll send a little link on how to do that because that's better than taking a picture of the photo and then cropping it down.
Yeah.
If that makes
There's one comment. Um, I have so many photos that I'm trying to prepare to go in there, and the way that you have it, the photos are just a great big, you know, line list of thumbnails, and it becomes really hard. They move around. They don't even stay in the same place.
Yeah, let me show you a trick that's going to be helpful for you. Let me share the screen, and I'm going to use Randy's cookbook as. All right, we're actually sharing. Good. If you pop onto the photos section in one, if you need to rename things, so you can easily search it, you can just hit this and rename it. So you could name it the person, you can name it what recipe it goes to, whatever you want to name it. The second thing is over here, there's a filter where you can say what's in my book and what's not in my book so that you can quickly see which photos you've used and which photos you've not used. Um, but yeah, I think I hear you, and I think we're gonna try and work something a little bit better on like it what it's doing is it's actually moving down and then over to the next one. But I think we're gonna change that. But
You,
yeah, the best thing that I would do right now is to just rename them so that you can search it a little bit easier.
yeah. If there were the capacity to sort them into files, into
Into a
separate
folder.
files,
Mhm,
folders in there,
mhm. Yeah,
then that would be really helpful
it's
because
gonna
it just gets, I have, if you have more than one volume, the in the book and the out of book doesn't really help that much.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes
Be-
sense. That's a good note. And you guys, I appreciate when you bring those ideas to me because I do work a lot with the product team and I can take them straight to the product team and say, hey, here's what I'm hearing. So that's helpful. Thank you. Awesome. All right,
Thank
Miss.
you. It would be really helpful if you're actually able to that made done that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I try. The problem is when it comes to like the software of things, sometimes when we think, oh, that's just a really easy fix, it like affects something else. So I can't promise, but bring the ideas up and we've had a lot of changes this year, which is fun. A lot of new exciting things. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? You can unmute yourself. You can put them in the chat. All right, Miss Brenda Hicks, where are you? I see you here. Where are you on your book? Are you good? Do you need help with anything? Bottom left corner is like a little microphone. Ah, I can't hear you.
Okay. Um, we were hoping to have finished it by Christmas, but we
Yeah,
didn't meet our deadline.
that's okay. You got your
And
Christmas.
my daughter and I are working on it together. And
Uh-huh.
so our time is limited because she works a full-time job.
Uh-huh.
But we are in the finishing up stages,
Nice.
and the cookbook is under her account.
Okay.
And
Fun.
so
So your
anyway,
recipes are in. Now you're at the like designing part.
yes, and we may add a little bit more, and I might want to go back and do some editing on some of the recipes. I didn't really like the way they were worded.
Okay. Have you used the suggest edit feature on your recipes? Have you tried that?
No.
Okay, give that a try. I'll show everybody. Let me share my screen. Um, so if you click the recipe itself and there's this little suggest edit, it's using AI, but what it's doing is it will kind of standardize the recipe to a format. My favorite is the Heritage Heirloom, and I like it because it spells out the tablespoon, teaspoon. That just comes because I have littles who don't know what T BSP mean? So I like that one, but you can also just have it proofread. After you've done it for a few times, it'll unlock what's called match my style, and it starts to mimic your behavior, and try to like try to help it with that. But that will speed you up quite a bit, and you don't have to do it so manually. But give that a try.
Okay. Well, my daughter is the one that does it all on computer.
Okay, well, you tell her to give it a try.
So I just have to kind of wait until she can get on it
Yeah,
and do
yeah.
it because
Well,
I'm only watching by cell phone.
okay.
So anyway, she'll have to look at it to see.
Yeah, yeah. Tell her to give it a try. It really is helpful. But yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
All
Let
right.
us know if you need anything. All right, guys. Any
All
more?
right. Thank you.
Miss Connie said the suggest edit was the best feature. Oh, good. I'm so glad. That's it's really fun. If you haven't tried it, you should try it. It is very cool.
Okay.
Wasn't there for me.
It wasn't. Sorry, Randy. That's one of those brand new things. So last year we launched what's called the Plus Plan. And it is a paid membership, and it's all these new features, the AI, all of those things, and we're really heavily investing in the designer. And so, if you've been around for a year, you have seen some heavy changes. You have seen an index page that automatically generates. You've seen the suggest edit, the AI photo. We're working on. There's lots of things that we're just trying to like really improve. So that's kind of where that comes from. But there's a trial, so if you want to give it a try, I think if you give it a try, you'll love it. But yeah, give it a try. Miss Donna, I've seen you a few weeks. Where are you on your project? Where can we help?
Well, hello. Well, I'm still
Hi.
entering my
Nice.
recipes. I'm up to 15 now, so and
Cool.
I'm manually putting them in. But I
Okay.
like that suggest edit because I think that'll help me too because I forget what I abbreviated, what I didn't, and I have to go back to my old recipes. So, and I like what you just went over with, I think Brenda it was about it gets to know your pattern after you do it a few times. So,
Yeah.
would you suggest just waiting, getting all your recipes in first, and then doing the?
I would. I would.
Okay.
Is there a reason you haven't used We Type It? Because it's pretty good. And you have the option to edit after it's been typed. That way you're just not having to type as much.
I've thought about it, but but you know,
But you
I
have
do
10
maybe.
credits. Yeah, you have 10 credits. Give it a try. Like worst case, you don't like it, delete it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll give it a whirl.
yeah, it's really helpful. It really
Okay.
is. Back in the day, it used to be all manual. We had little people would just type it away. And now there's still a manual component, but we do use AI, and it's super fast. Like you're gonna get it back in like a couple of minutes. If it can't recognize it, or if it's like I have no idea, that's when it kind of goes to the manual state. So it can be up to a business day, but that's like 2%.
Okay.
But
Obviously, I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah.
yeah, that's okay.
And don't y'all have an app for that now so you can just take a photo of the recipe and it'll do it
We
right
do.
there instead of scanning it and inputting it?
And that's the best way to do it is on your phone. It's super easy. Is there a way to type the feature? Can we type it? Wait, sorry, my brain. I'm gonna blame Anthony, my son. He's been a turkey. Suggest edit. Can we type the feature? Miss County, my brain is not braining.
Sorry, I wasn't clear. I was just wondering if the We Type It feature will, if I wanted to submit a handwritten recipe, I take a picture of it, and then would that count as one credit? Like that they put it in?
It is one credit. If it's front back though, it's one credit per recipe. So if it's front back, it's fine. It just counts as one.
Oh, okay.
And there's an option. It'll say like, do you have a back of the recipe card? And that's where you can.
Okay. And then will they, and no, but what I want is to, to put the actual handwritten recipe in the book.
Oh yeah, you'll just
Yeah,
add that
I don't want
as a
them to type
photo.
it. I want you to type it.
Yeah, yeah. You just add that in as a photo on the layout.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Perfect, of course. All right. Any other questions, Mama Elena? You're still working on volume 2, right?
And that is done.
No
It's
way.
finished. I just ordered a
Oh,
sample yesterday so that I can look at it.
congratulations.
Yes, it's done.
Ah,
I'm very excited.
I'm so proud. Oh my
I
goodness.
can't wait to have it in my hand so I can see it.
Yes. Oh, that's
Yeah,
fun. Oh my goodness. You're gonna have like that's so
yeah.
cool. I'm so excited.
Once
Oh,
it once it got going, it came together very quickly, and
once
I
you
had
get
the help
going.
of Carly too. I had a little help from Carly there, and she, worked on my cover, and I had some, real pretty pictures for my cover that I
Yeah.
did, and yeah, I'm very pleased.
Oh,
I
good.
can't wait.
Good. Yeah. Carly is the best. She's just so,
She's
so,
wonderful. She
yeah,
is
she
wonderful.
is.
Very helpful.
I know. I tell her all
Yeah.
the time, I'm like, she's the standard of what you want to raise a little human. Like if I get to like grown up and my daughter is like Carly, I have succeeded because she is just
Mhm.
she's a joy. She's really hardworking, she's super smart, she's super clever. And so yeah, she is the gold standard when it comes to
She
that.
is. The
Yeah.
editing for me was a challenge because I can easily read fast and read what I want to read
Mhm.
and not catch mistakes. But
Yeah.
once I went through it and I had just a little reminder from Carly that, are you still working on that? And I got to it and found several small errors, but corrected those, and it's ready.
What? Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to
Yeah.
have you back. We're gonna have to tour round two.
Yes,
I'm so excited. That'll be
me
fun.
too. Yes, thank you.
Oh, wonderful. All right, guys. Any other questions? Let's see. Denise, does Randy use story pages or any small captions to describe a few of his photos? He did. Let me pop back in and I'll share that. Let me share my screen all the way, follow all the steps. Click, click. All right, there we go. Let's just jump to the beginning. So you have here is photo page with a caption. That's the Berlin house that his mother grew up in. This is your mom, right, Randy?
Yes, sorry, I got to unmute.
It's okay. That's your mom. We don't have captions here, but this is your mom and your dad.
Correct. And they got married.
And then this is them a little bit later.
Yep.
Yeah, and then this is a story page with a photo. So here is layout, story page with photo on bottom. And then we go into the section dividers and recipes. Make sure I answered your question. Did I answer your question? Okay, good, good. Denise, is there anywhere we can help with your cookbook? We got a whole team here. We can all brainstorm together. All right. I'm gonna take Miss Donna. Yes, please.
I do have one question. One of the problems or one of the things I'm gonna have to look into is I have several different people that are giving that have recipes in my cookbook, and I wanted to do some kind of picture page where I'm labeling those people so years down the line everybody knows who they are.
I love that.
Are Does anybody have any experience with any identifying pages like that where
So most
it's
people
all
use
on one page?
Yeah, most people use a story page and they just kind of like name, and if it what it's become kind of the trendy thing to say is like a who's who's page, and they'll name it
Right.
who's who, and then it's just a story page, like name, kind of context, because it's not, I mean, you can create a family tree and import it as an image, but this is a little bit more, a lot of times we have like this was an important neighbor and they've become a part of our community, a family, and just kind of giving that context. So a quick, this was my mother's sister,
Okay.
so and so. And so just think of it in the context at the highest level. Um, and you kind of always have that core person that you can bring them back to. Like and it's usually matriarchal mother, like this was grandma's sister. And yes, it's your aunt, but if you think about the whole, that to me is a good way to anchor it.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, that's how I use for now with my kids to explain uh, whose family's who, and I'm like, I use like Nana and Gigi because that's my husband's mom. And so it's like that's Nana's sister. That and so I try to think of it in that vein. And now it's like it is funny to see their little brains like, oh, okay. Yes, yes, he is. Awesome. I'm going to take a second now and chat about the cookbook coaching program. It's something we launched last week. It is a paid program. If you want to work with a coach, the coach is Carly. Um, I occasionally jump in, but Carly is phenomenal. We were running a sale for February and it was supposed to be done, but it's not down. So I'm going to tell you that if you are interested in it, I would grab it. The reason it's not down is because I had a sick little one, but I know in the next couple days it's going to come down. So you guys have gotten the extended version by happen chance. But here's the page. I'll go over it with you. Basically, you have three options. Right now it's 20% off. And that is just because as we get closer to the holidays, we get so busy. So this is just kind of encouraging that early bird special. Working with the coach, you have a few options. You can do just a single call with Carly. She'll go over your book if you need help with some last minute editings um, or design, she can help on that in that call. There's an essentials, which is two calls. Basically, she meets with you, gives you a here's what you need to do to get your book done, and then she reviews with you, kind of having that wrap up again. If you need some tweaking in that second call, she'll help you get things where it needs to be. The full service, which is what Randy went through, this is where you meet with Carly. You'll meet with her a few times over the project. She does everything. You hand her the content, you hand her the photos, you hand her the recipes, you tell her the vision, and you're kind of meeting and you're kind of the creative director and you're just kind of monitoring the project. You still have, you're still in charge of content. You still have the stories and the recipes, but she's just helping get it organized and taking it for you. If you have interest in this, I'll put the link in the replay email. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat now. Um, I think it's a great fit for if you either want accountability or if you are just really busy and this keeps getting on the back burner and you're like, oh, it's important, but life keeps happening, it's a really good fit. If you're really enjoying the designer, if you're really enjoying doing all of it, just keep coming to camp. That's what camp is for. Um, but if you want someone or if you want someone to have like another set of eyes or just work with you, it's a really good fit. But yeah, if there's any questions on that, I'm happy to answer. I'm happy we got 10 minutes. Any questions about coaching? Cookbooks for Randy. And if not, I'll see you guys. We have another camp in 2 weeks. Let me see if I can tell you who's going to be our special guest. I think we already have someone lined up. Cookbook. Yeah. Next week we have Julia, and she has a family cookbook. It'll be super enjoyable. That's on the 18th. So you'll want to come see hers, get to tour her cookbook. But yeah. All right, Miss Donna, do you have another question?
Nope, I just forgot to put my hand down.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Awesome. And then we're gonna have Mama Alina here soon. She's gonna be doing round two, volume two. So that'll be fun. Yeah. All right, guys. No more last minute questions. We had a smaller group today. It's okay. The weather's getting good. Everybody's wanting to go outside. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Randy, very special thanks for being here and sharing the story, for always being here and always encouraging
Thank you.
everyone and always and being a part of the community because you are always making sure everybody else gets to have their cookbook vision and we see you and we appreciate it. Bonnie said if you sign up for the cookbook coaching, how long do you have to use it? You use it when you are ready to use it. We have some people who have signed up for it and they have meeting one and they're like, hey, I'm about to go. I can tell you one lady right now is like, I'm going to Europe and I'm going to be gone 6 months. So if you can want to get started and I'll check in when I get back, it's fine. The only thing I will say about it is when you go to book your follow-up calls with Carly, if her calendar's full, it's full. And when we get into Q4, meaning October, November, December, it fills up pretty quickly. Um, and so, but yeah, you use it till your book is done. Denise, thanks for sharing. Oh, thanks, Denise. I appreciate it. But yeah. All right, guys. I will see you in 2 weeks, okay?
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.